Electric bikes are becoming more and more popular, and I know a lot of people like to take these on trips. And if you do, I have a great solution for you. Outfitter has this 200-pound 2 e-bike rack with ramp. I think one of the most important things when it comes down to buying a rack for your bikes is safety. And I love the fact that this bike system has a ramp simply because even these smaller versions of e-bikes are pretty heavy. So let's go ahead and unbox this so you guys can see what's inside. We're going to put it together, and then I'm going to hook it up to my wife's car, and I think we're going to go for a quick drive so you guys can see and hear what they are like on the back of an SUV. Let's get started. So I've already undid the tape on the other side, so all I gotta do is lift up, and here it is. Definitely A for packaging. I actually got a jack from them too that was really nicely packaged as well. And this is all just part of the packaging. And let's go ahead and pull out this. There's 2 of them. Okay. And if you don't know, this is an aluminum system too, so weight savings is definitely something that's important, I'm sure. And this piece here is pretty lightweight as well. Okay. Here's some of the instructions. Oh yeah, this stuff is really lightweight. 2 of these. This is going to be for the receiver, so this has to be a little heavy duty. So this is probably steel. It has a little bit of weight to it. Good news is you're not really lifting this, so that's nice. We'll set that here. This also looks to be part of the Hitch system too. And more hardware. But yeah, definitely really nicely packaged. And that's very important too, because you can lay everything out nicely. You can see everything that's a part of the packaging. This looks to be straps. And this may be for the receiver hitch. We'll find out what everything is here in a second. Lastly, here's some hardware, nuts and bolts, and this looks to be a strap. So let's go ahead and put this together. It should be pretty easy. And then I want to really spend more time just giving you some of the features that this has, because as I said, this does have a ramp, and that's going to really help with taking this down. If you have a really heavy bike, obviously you don't want to be lifting these, so this really makes it easy when you're loading and unloading. Now the very first thing we're going to do is put these brackets together like this, and just check the orientation of this as well, because it could get a little confusing. So they did provide these bolts here. Okay, so all you have to do is just slide them in, and it does matter where they go, so just be mindful of that too. Yeah, they should just slide in like that, and then this one right here, and just tighten everything down. And then you have this pin that goes right here. Be careful not to pinch yourself, because sometimes it's very possible. Up next, you will have to remove these 17mm bolts. There's 2 on each side, so you have 2 more right here. And then we're going to basically attach this in here. You're gonna do the exact same thing for the second one. So these two are done. Now, if you are using power tools, remember this is aluminum, so don't go crazy. Make sure you maybe hand tighten these as you get them closer because you wanna make sure you don't strip out this aluminum. Up next, we're going to pretty much install these screws here. Let me just take everything apart for you guys. Now, I did flip everything upside down if you didn't notice. But yeah, you have to take these apart. These were bagged separately too. And all you have to do is just find this channel here, slide these in, and then we're gonna secure those here, okay? So you have the washer and the other bolt right here, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. So you're gonna slide this all the way down to this aluminum piece on both sides. And then all you have to do is just tighten down these number 13s. And let me flip it over so you guys can have an idea of what it looks like. Remember, this is the receiver hitch that's going to connect to the car. And this is what you should have at this point. Now up next is the arm bar. So I already have this one installed. Hopefully you guys see that. So what we have to do is we have to remove this bolt here. This is a number 18. I just use a power tool. And then you're gonna remove this round bolt here, and then you have these plastic bolts. So there's one here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna slide this basically in with that plastic trim piece on that side. And then we're going to install the plastic trim piece again, like this, and then we're gonna bolt it in. So it's pretty easy. I'll show you guys the finished product here. And you guys can see this is the finished product. And you'll understand those plastic like washers because it protects it from metal on metal. I almost forgot. You have to attach your locking pin here. So I just recommend before you tighten down this last bolt here, just make sure you attach this. And then if you don't know what this is for, I'll show it to you here. But yeah, the bolt goes here, and then this will lock in the ramp. So that's the receiver hitch on that side. And so just get this bolt undone if you've already done it. And then your ramp is gonna basically attach in here. And this is the locking pin for it. Now you guys remember I did not tighten this bolt up at the beginning. So I believe this is a 25 mil. That's what it says on my wrench here. And I'm just using some pliers on this side. But if you want, just go ahead and tighten stuff at the beginning before you start. It might be easier because I don't have a wrench this size. So this will just have to do. And once it gets all snugged, we can go ahead and get this thing put on the SUV to see how it works. So I want to show you guys the ramp really quickly. It basically just installs like this. And this is the locking pin for it. And that's it. So let's go ahead and check out how this works by putting a bike on, and then we'll strap it down too. I have the electric bike strapped in here, and you guys will see this is adjustable. All you have to do, this locks it in, and then when you unlock it, you pull up on this basically. That way you can adjust this wherever you need to. Okay. So you'll probably have to fine tune this before you really tighten everything down. So we're gonna go ahead and use this bike for this rack here, but this bike is probably like 80 pounds, give or take. This bike is not lightweight. It's pretty heavy, even though it looks pretty small. But you guys see, you can strap it down here, also up here, and then the back tire. So I just adjusted it a little bit. That way it could be hanging off right here. It gives me a little bit more, I think, strength for like holding it tight for whatever reason. So I like it like this. And let's go ahead and get the bigger tire bike on here. That way you guys can see how this one will look too. The bike is heavy. You got to be really careful. This is definitely a two-man job. Once it's in here, it's pretty easy to support it. Then you can adjust this down however you need it. That way you can secure this part of the bike first. And then this strap comes around like this. Ooh. This actually helps to protect the bike. So make sure you have this on. This goes right there, and then like that. Now that part's done, and now you don't have to worry about holding the bike anymore. So I like that part of it. And then you can strap down the front. Again, this is there to protect the tire. Nice. Nice and tight. And lastly is the back one. Slide it through the spokes. And it might take a little bit of finagling the first few times too. But once you've done it, I would say a few times, it's pretty easy. That's why I did that first bike, just to make it a little bit easier for me on the second one. And then, yeah, that's not going anywhere. Nice and secure. Let's go ahead and go for a drive so you guys can kind of get an idea of the bikes back here, and then that'll pretty much end this video. We're gonna go for a quick drive. I want to see if you guys can notice this rack, if it's moving. We've been driving for like maybe 5 minutes or so. Even under braking, nothing's moving. And I don't have it super duper tight either. It's nice and snug, but I didn't force it tight, which is nice. So we might have to go back down that bumpy road too, by the way, because that was a really nice test. Unfortunately, our navigation screen was on, so we had to redo this. But now it's not, so we might have to turn around and let you guys see how well it did on that back road. But you guys can see obviously with my other camera view there, it's not jumping around. And when I installed it in the receiver hitch, I did it by myself, and they give you a locking nut and a washer and then a locking pin, and then you just have to just tighten it down with a wrench. But it took me like maybe 3 minutes. So here's that bumpy road. Hannah's gonna hit every single bump in the road here so you guys can see those bikes. And I'm telling you, I'm actually really impressed by this. Those bikes are not moving. Yeah, I'm impressed. This is definitely a good buy. If you're looking for a nice bike rack with a really secure fitment, easy to put together, has a ramp, I think this is the one I would look at, guys. Hope you guys enjoy the video. If you would like to get promo code, be sure to check the description down below. See you guys in the next video.